Hi guys, and welcome to Book and Loop, where happiness is handmade and the best boyfriends are always found in books. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of my upcoming 2022 writing plans for this year. I have never really set a writing goal for myself, other than just to write, but I am trying to do something new this year in that I'm going to try and set myself a goal for what I want to write and what I want to accomplish with my writing in the new year. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I apologize if you guys can hear the honking in the background and my dog barking. I don't know what's going on outside. I'm hoping that it's nothing. So I would be lying if I said that 2021 was my year. While it started off really great and I was traveling and getting to see the United States and I was doing all these amazing things, I got a new job that I absolutely love and I get to do what I love every single day. There were still a lot of really difficult challenges that came up for me. I had a 5-year relationship that came to an end, unfortunately. During the breakup, lost all of my college friends, and then just lost my dog. It's just been a really, really hard year. And I'm trying my best to kind of like stay positive and push forward and stay on track with the goals that I have in life and what I want to do, which is why I'm here making this video. I started this YouTube channel to kind of help myself work through all of the challenging things that I've been going through the past few months. Writing kind of became like an escape for me, and it became my real crutch to try and make it through all of the difficult things that I've been going through. I've kind of just been writing a lot over the past few months, really throwing myself into my writing. I finished writing my draft 3 of my novel, which was a really big deal to me. I had started writing my novel back when I was in high school still. Finished writing draft 1 while I was in college, and then quickly did a reread of draft 2 with no rewrites, just went through and did edits. And then after I graduated and had decided that my novel no longer really reflected who I was as a person, I needed to do a full rewrite of my novel. And so I spent the last 2 years during COVID rewriting my novel, and I kept putting it on the back burner in favor of working for grad school and getting my degree, kind of just getting distracted by general life itself. I put that on myself for not being more passionate about it and working for it more when it's something that I am so deeply passionate about and something that I've always wanted to do. But even so, I, over the summer, really worked on it hard. I went on a cross-country RV trip, and while I was on the RV trip, I wrote a lot, and then I went away to California for a month. While I was there, I worked on rewrites a lot, and then once November hit and the breakup happened, then I really, really worked on my rewrite and finished my rewrite and started submitting to some agents, and am now waiting kind of to hear back. While I've been waiting to hear back from some of the agents that I submitted to, I've been just doing a lot of prose pieces, a lot of reflections on what I've been going through the past few months, and just like my feelings, my reflections on myself, and like loving myself and trying to come out of this dark place that I've been in and for the past few months. A big help has been BTS, as I'm sure anybody that knows me knows. I've been listening to a lot of the Love Yourself album. I ran out during Barnes & Noble's 50% off hardcover sale, and I bought the Love Yourself album because it was there, and I was like, I have to have it because it's just been such a huge influence on me getting through this right now.
So here's just a very quick list of some of my favorite songs off the Love Yourself album. Most notably would be Truth Untold. The song is just so tragic, but yet so beautiful at the same time. The lyrics are really just gorgeous. And Epiphany, Jin's solo song, is out of this world and really has become my mantra throughout the past few months. The other song that I have to say has become extremely influential on me has been Answer, Love Myself. But I definitely recommend you guys check out all of the songs on this list or just the whole album in general. This album just has so many beautiful songs with so many beautiful, beautiful messages that are really just centered around loving yourself and giving yourself the attention and care that you really need. And I can go on and talk for hours about this album and every single song on it, but we don't have that kind of time, and that is not this kind of video. So I'm going to stop talking about BTS now and jump right back into writing.
So I like to just put this album on and kind of write to it and just kind of work through everything I've been going through. So that's it. So going forward for the new year, I'm kind of looking to, I've been in the works for a little while now. Been working on a different book project that I started writing during my college years, and I've kind of been diving back into that a little more, just because I was really passionate about it when I first started writing it, and then kind of pushed it back when I was going through like applying for graduation and doing my senior thesis and all that stuff, and kind of got pushed back. And especially when I started doing my rewrite for my other book, then this book fell backwards. So my goal for 2022, my big goal, is to finish draft one of this new book that I've been working on. I have written clips and I've written scenes for it and little bit here and there throughout the past like 3 years. Whenever a scene kind of comes to me, or I come up with a scene that doesn't really fit into the context of my first novel, then I'll kind of like slide it into my second one. It's a completely different tone from my first book. My first book that I wrote was kind of like a high fantasy adventure novel, whereas this one is more of a contemporary with a dash of magic in it, um, romance novel. And while they're both rooted in magic systems, um, they do have different feelings, I feel. I mean, me, I don't, I don't know. Yeah, sure. I'm writing it, so it feels like it has a different feeling. And I just feel like I should be giving it a little more attention than I have been, because I think it's a good, of course I think it's a good story, and it's one that I want to share with the world. So that is my biggest thing for 2022, is getting draft one done of my second book done. Um, it will get perhaps a bit confusing because I have my first book that I've written, um, which I'm going to refer to as Tag for now. So I have Tag, and then Tag has a sequel that I'm already have written a little bit of, and I'm planning out the rest of it. So there's Tag and its sequel, and then I have book two, which is like a separate entity from those two books that I've one written and two have started writing and planned out. And then I have the other book two, which is like my completely separate story that I had just started working on randomly one day. I didn't expect it to become a story, but it kind of has evolved into this whole new thing that I am like super excited about and really want to share with everybody one day. So yeah, so those are my like big projects that I'm working on. Other than that, I did join a creative writing group at my local library, and I am super super excited. I have always been a little hesitant to share my writing with the world, just always a little bit of like a fear of rejection and kind of just like a like nervousness of like not being good enough. Um, so I kind of knew that this was going to be like a step that I had to take eventually, was joining a writer's circle and like not just giving my book to my friends and family and being like, I did this thing, read it and tell me if you like it. Because like obviously they're gonna like it because they're your family, so like duh. But like going out and like putting myself out there where I'm like joining a group of strangers that are gonna now read my writing and tell me if they like it. And like of course like I've done stuff like this before, because when I was in high school I took a creative writing class, and obviously writing is my major for when I was doing my undergrad. So I've done classes where I've had to sit in a circle and we would pass each other stories around and give critiques and talk about the writing. And I've never really had anybody give me like super negative feedback to the point where I'd be like, I am ashamed and I can never show my writing to anybody ever again. But it's just like scary to put yourself out there because writing is so intrinsically a part of who we are, and we always, every time you write, you're bleeding on the page. And I know that seems like a very like romantic way to put it, but it's true because you really are putting a little piece of yourself onto every single paper that you write onto. Something that I think is really great about writing is that it can be used as a kind of like, let me work through this. And I, yes, have been faced with a lot of challenges, and yes, I've been going through a lot. At the same time, I am pushing myself to all new limits, and I'm trying my very best to stay positive and stay strong. And I'm finding that the best way for me to do that is through my writing and through like really taking the time out of my day to stop and say, okay, how are we feeling? How are we doing? Let's get this down on paper and let's really think about it. And what can we do to be feeling better? And a lot of times that is just taking the time to sit down and write about how I'm feeling, and to write about, okay, this is like what I've been going through, or to take the time and be like, to just sit there and write angry words, or to sit down and just write sad words and just really feel and let every emotion come out onto the page. And I feel like that's been the best medicine of all for me, is that I can sit down and I can express myself in a way that's healthy, and maybe it's not always happy, but it's helping. And that's the biggest thing. And that's why I think writing is so important, not just for writers, but for everybody. I think that writing could be a really great experience for anybody who's ever going through anything that's challenging or tough. You'd be surprised by how amazing it can make you feel to sit down and write everything through. And I don't know if it feels this way for everybody. I really don't. But like when I write something, I just find that I love myself more, because I'm like, look at me. Like, I did this. I sat down. That's my thoughts. That's my head. That's my feelings and emotions and my mind on the page in front of me. And it's beautiful. Maybe everybody doesn't find it beautiful. But for me, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, that's beautiful. And that's all I can ask for. That's all I can do for myself. So I am going to suggest, if any of you guys are watching this and you're going through something and you're having a tough time and you feel lost and like you don't know how you're going to get through it, and you feel like your back's against the wall and that the odds are just stacked against you in every single way, just pick up a pen and write, or sit at your laptop for an hour and look at that Word document and just write and just feel. Don't bottle it up. That's the worst thing for you. Just let yourself feel. Let yourself write. Let yourself let it out. Because then, and I do this all the time, a few years down the line, a few months, a few weeks even, you can go back and you can read those thoughts and those feelings and emotions that you were having. You could say, look at me. Look how far I came. I didn't think I was going to survive this, and I did. And I'm better for it. So just do it. Love yourself enough to do it. It took me a long time to realize that. And now that I have, I don't want to ever stop. Love yourself enough to write. And it's scary to put yourself out there and be like, okay, like this is a piece of me that I'm going to give to you, and I hope that you like it, and I hope that you don't kind of like turn your nose up at it or be like, no, it's not good enough. Because like people like me who are like, oh my gosh, like that's like such a huge part of who I am, like, oh, they must not like me, you know. So it's kind of hard to just like put yourself out there. But that was why I figured, let me start by trying to do like this YouTube thing, because it's something I've always wanted to do. And again, as I talked about in my introductory video, which I'll link at the top, it's hard to put yourself out there. Like, I've always wanted to do the YouTube thing, but was always scared to start it. Because it can be scary to kind of like come forward to somebody and be like, this is me, this is who I am, um, kind of like take it or leave it kind of thing. And to put yourself into a position where you're essentially inviting people into your life and into your world and into who you are as a person, with the knowledge that they could turn around and use anything against you, or, you know, kind of like putting yourself into somebody else's hands that's a complete stranger. That's super, super scary. Like, infinitely scary. And that's a large part of why I was so nervous to start YouTube and to start to join a writing circle as well, because it's hard and things are hard, and it's hard to work up that courage to do something and to put yourself out there. And you need to surround yourself with the right kind of people that are going to support you and kind of give you that push that you need. And thankfully, when I was going through everything that I was going through, I did find the people that I needed that were pushing me to do better and to rise above everything that had been going on in my life. And I found strength in the people around me, or more accurately, they helped me find the strength inside of me to go on and to be strong and to chase after the things that were going to make me happy. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's how I'm trying to live every single day now. Just kind of like not being afraid to go out there and just live. To live unafraid and unapologetically me. That has become my mantra, that I want to live unapologetically me. No matter who walks in or out of my life, I want to be me. And I want to always be me. So that starts with me. That starts with me putting myself out onto the internet and putting my writing out there and not being afraid, because it's better to put yourself out there and be shut down than it is to put yourself down and never let yourself try. And that's what I've been doing to myself for a while now. And I'm ready to stop doing that. It got heavy there. This video is heavy. I feel like this video is very heavy, and I apologize for that. It wasn't meant to be that heavy. I've been going through a lot. I apologize. So putting all that aside, my main goal, like I said, is that I want to finish draft 1 of book 2. I want to, away from like the writing, like physically writing, I have my set goals of what I want to do with my first book, Tag. Like I said, I've been looking for an agent. I have put some applications in. I put an application in originally when I first finished my book, and I did my like initial like just like grammar and spelling draft checks, and I got rejected and kind of like worked myself through that, and had that initial confidence has been shaken, and I am so unsure of this project that I was once really, really passionate and excited about. And it's all about like just building yourself back up and being passionate and being confident in what you're working on. And that's something that's really hard to reinstill in yourself, especially when you're coming from a place of already being rejected and then having the people in your life that were supposed to help build you back up also reject you. So it's really hard to move past that. But the important thing is finding good people. Good people make all the difference in your life. And that is something that I have really, really learned. That has been, if I had to find one lesson to sum up the entirety of 2021, it would be that good people are everything. They're going to be there when you fall. They're going to be there to help you celebrate. They're going to be there if you need somebody to talk to at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it might be hard to find them sometimes, but if you keep looking and you love yourself enough to not let the bad people get in the way, then you'll find them and they'll be there. And that's what's important. Sorry. What was I talking about again? So 2022 writing goals. So I'm thinking that what I might do on this channel as well is share little tidbits of my writing on the channel. Probably not showing my face, but doing like a voiceover with, I mean, I went on a cross country road trip, so maybe I'll do like images of things that I like. I love to take pictures. I'm a extremely amateur photographer, like not very good. I took a photography class when I was in high school. And I'm a design and digital media minor, so I like know my way around Photoshop and whatever. But I'm thinking that maybe what I'll do is I will do like a slideshow of different parts of my trip, and then I will do like a voiceover recording of myself reading some of my writing to you guys. Um, I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in, but I think it's important for my journey as a writer to share my writing and to kind of have it come out of my own mouth as well. My prose and my poetry, like those are things that like I think sound best when they come out of the author or the writer's mouth. And that's something I learned too from my classes, because I took a class with Tahimba Dress, who is the Pulitzer Prize winning poet. He wrote Olio, which is on my shelf over there. And when he would read his pieces, it was just like an incredible experience. Like, there's nothing like hearing the words of a writer and a poet come out of their own mouth and hearing it the way that it was meant to be read. So I think that what I'll do is I'll do that. I'll make a little slideshow video for you guys, and then I will read over the slideshow. So I think I touched on, I should have made like a list, like a real list of what I wanted to do, what my writing goals actually are. So I think, I want to say there was 3, maybe 4. I think it was 3. I'm gonna say 3. So it was that I want to finish draft 1 of book 2, share my prose and my poetry on here. Well, I guess the third one, like, I already did join the writing group, but I want to continue to go to the writing group and become more confident in my writing. My 4th was that I am looking to take my first book tag to the next level, to the next step. 4. So I think that is going to be all from me today. I apologize that it got very heavy. I most likely will edit out most of the heavier parts, most likely. Yeah, so thank you guys for always listening to me and be kind of like being a lending ear. And I know it's weird because like I started this channel at like at the end of the year, where it was kind of like most channels will probably be posting their wrap-ups, and I'm kind of like just getting started. So I'm hoping that like this like series of videos where I kind of did like my introduction to me, and then I did like my reading goals for 2022, and now I'm doing my writing goals for 2022, will kind of give you guys like a good expectation of who I am and like what I want to do with this channel, and like a better idea of like what it's going to be like going forward. I hope you guys have an amazing new year. Hope you guys get well rested, and I hope that you guys are coming to the new year with a open mindset, ready to take in any blessings that are surely waiting to come your way on the other side of that 12 o'clock. I know that I am. So, Happy New Year. Happy writing.